10. Ultimate experiences in Canada. Hello and welcome to this exciting video about the 10 best things you can do in Canada that you'll never forget. People worldwide know Canada for its beautiful landscapes, rich cultural traditions and friendly people. From the beautiful Rocky Mountains to the vast Canadian prairies, many things to do in Canada are sure to leave an impression. In this video, we'll show you the top 10 ultimate things to do in Canada that you won't want to miss, so don't miss it. Number 10. Explore the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains are one of Canada's most famous and visited mountain ranges. They are in both Alberta and British Columbia. Hiking, skiing, and taking a scenic drive through the Rocky Mountains are great ways for tourists to see the area's jaw-dropping views of the mountain range. People who want to try new things should get to the well-known ski resorts in Banff and Jasper National Parks. Banff National Park was the first national park in Canada. It has some of the country's most famous glaciers, hot springs, and beautiful lakes. On the other hand, people who go to Jasper National Park can see the mountain goats, elk, and grizzly bears in the wild. The Icefields Parkway is a beautiful road connecting two national parks and allowing tourists to see the area's beautiful glaciers, waterfalls, and animals. Number 9. See the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights are a natural light show that can be seen in the night sky of Canada's far north. The Aurora Borealis is another name for this natural event. Some of the best places in the world to see the Northern Lights are in the Northwest Territories, especially Yellowknife and Whitehorse in the Yukon. When solar particles hit the Earth's atmosphere, they make a beautiful light show called the Northern Lights. This event is unique and only takes place when it does. Tourists can go on a dog sled trip or join a guided tour to see the Northern Lights. It's hard to find a similar experience, and everyone who visits Canada should try to make time for it. Number 8. Pay a visit to Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is one of the most well-known places in all of Canada. They are in the province of Ontario. 3 waterfalls are seen from both the New York and the Ontario sides of the border. Visitors can take a trip to the bottom of the falls or climb the Skyline Tower to view the area from above. The Maid of the Mist boat trip is a popular way to get close to the falls. Travelers can join the Journey Behind the Falls tour, which takes them behind the curtain of the Horseshoe Falls for an even more intense experience. Number 7. Explore the Canadian prairies. The Canadian prairies, especially in the provinces of Manitoba and Saskatchewan, is one of the most forgotten parts of the country, even though they have a lot of beautiful natural sights. People can see beautiful grasslands, bison, and the Great Sandhills when exploring the prairies. The Great Sandhills are a unique area in the southwest of Saskatchewan that looks like a desert. Tourists can visit this area and see the huge sand dunes and the many animals there. Tourists can also see bison in the National Park Service's Elk Island National Park and Fort Walsh National Historic Site. The prairies are a great place to watch birds and see beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Number 6. Go to the Cabot Trail. The Cabot Trail is a beautiful drive in Nova Scotia where people can see whales, stunning views of the coast, and the highlands of Cape Breton Island. The 298-kilometer long Cabot Trail is a beautiful trip that takes people through the beautiful scenery of Cape Breton Island. Along the way, tourists can see stunning coast views, small towns, and the island's mountainous interior. Tourists can also go on whale watching trips and see dolphins, orcas, and humpback whales. On Cape Breton Island, climbing, skiing, and hiking are other popular outdoor activities. The mountain range gives people access to various outdoor activities, each requiring a different skill level. There are various trails, so it doesn't matter if you're an experienced hiker or just want to go for a walk. The area is also home to several ski resorts that offer downhill and cross-country skiing, snowboarding, and snowshoeing for people who like winter sports. In the winter, tourists can do things like heli-skiing, ice climbing, and even dog sledding. Number 5. Tour to the Bay of Fundy. The Bay of Fundy in New Brunswick is known for its high tides, reaching up to 16 meters or 52 feet, and allowing tourists to see the unique tidal bore. In addition to these things, the park is an excellent place to hike, canoe, and watch birds. The highest tides in the whole world can be found in the Bay of Fundy. It also Let's tourists see the one-of-a-kind tidal bore, which happens when the tide comes in like a wave. Tourists also like to take kayak tours of the tidal pools and hike along the well-known Fundy Trail, which has beautiful coast views. Some birds that park visitors can see are puffins, bald eagles, and ospreys. Birdwatching is also a great thing to do in the park. Number 4. Visit the Canadian Arctic. The Canadian Arctic is one of the country's hardest to reach and most beautiful places. Visitors can go on tours to see polar bears and the northern lights and learn about the Inuit culture. The Canadian Arctic is a unique and remote place where tourists can see a lot of different species and beautiful, untouched nature. Guests can also learn about Inuit culture and look at examples of traditional Inuit art. To get a good view of the northern lights in the Arctic, visitors can take a trip by dog sled or snowmobile. This is another reason why the Arctic is a popular place to visit. Number 3. Visit the Canadian Shield. The Canadian Shield is an old area with many plants and animals, such as moose, bears, and wolves. In the provinces of Ontario and Quebec, you can find the Canadian Shield. Also, it is an excellent place to canoe, fish, and go hiking. The Canadian Shield is one of the oldest places on Earth, and it lets tourists see the beauty of nature in a place that hasn't changed too much. Hiking, kayaking, and fishing are just a few fun things to do outside the Shield. Visitors can canoe through the beautiful lakes and rivers during their stay, or hike along the well-known Bruce Trail. Number 2. Go to the Canadian Wine Country. The Canadian Wine Country is in the provinces of British Columbia and Ontario. It has some of the most beautiful vineyards in the country and gives visitors a chance to try some of Canada's best wine. The Okanagan Valley in British Columbia and the Niagara region in Ontario are part of Canada's wine country. These are both parts of Ontario. Visitors can tour the vineyards, try the different wines, and enjoy beautiful views. Tourists also like to take hot air balloon rides over vineyards or visit one of the region's famous wineries, like Mission Hill Family Estate in the Okanagan or Peller Estates Winery and Restaurant in Niagara. Number 1. Visit the CN Tower. The CN Tower is one of the city's most well-known landmarks. Not only does it have beautiful views of the city, but it's also a great place to take pictures and go on trips. The famous CN Tower is in the middle of Ontario and is a must-see for all travellers. On the observation deck, at the top of what is considered the tallest tower in the Western Hemisphere, visitors can see breathtaking views of the area. Guests can also do the adrenaline-pumping edge stroll, a hands-free walk around the tower's edge. This was all for today's video. We hope you liked watching our video about the 10 best things to do in Canada's Rocky Mountains. In Banff and Jasper National Parks, you can climb, ski, or hike in the Rocky Mountains. The Icefield Parkway and world-class skiing are must-sees for adventurers. Glaciers, lakes, and wildlife are worth viewing. It is where tourists can see the best of what the Rocky Mountains of Canada offer. Enjoy the natural beauty of the area and do some fun things. We're glad you watched this video, and we hope it makes you want to visit the beautiful places and wonderful experiences in Canada.